No, I'm not. I'm not supposed to be in this video. What do you? Roll the intro.
We have a very special guest with us today. All the way from Miles County, please welcome Art the Clown.
You idiot. I bet you thought it was just going to be another one of the empty promises we love here on the first year. But joke's on you. I have actual determination this time. Anyway, this week we're going to be looking at the Terrifier movies. There's no shot in hell this video is getting monetized, but that's alright. We make about $1 per 5 videos anyway, so that's not really that big of a deal. The other week, my uncle was in town, and he's obviously also a big fan of Terrifier, as am I. So, of course, being the well-adjusted men that we are, we decided to show my mom and my sister the Terrifier movies. And two of us had an amazing time at the old clown cafe. And two of us watched in horror as Art the Clown pulled out the blicky bag. It's a trash bag full of blickies. The blicky bag, if you will. And he sawed a woman right in half. It's up to you to decide which two me and my uncle were, and which two me and my mom... Which two my mom and my sister were. I understand the Terrifier movies are depraved and not for everybody, but god damn it, that shit makes me wetter than Tomorrow Hanks and Meg Ryan getting together and You've Got Mail. The first Terrifier, though, I love it, and the gore is amazing. It is not a very good movie. Even if that chick was split in twain like Robin's arrow, it's still worth watching because it's what started it all. Okay, technically, yes, the clown was in Damien Leone's horror anthology All Hallows Eve, and another movie before that where he was just kind of like a clown demon that didn't do any of this grotesque stuff. But those don't matter and don't exist. So Terrifier is where the art we all know and love is from. And Terrifier 2 is a much better film, both gore-wise and, I mean, legit. It has a better story, it has better writing, it has a better budget, and Art does some sick, wacky-ass, depraved shit. But the film also has real actors that are like trying, and I'm not saying the actors in the first movie weren't trying. They very clearly were trying, they just were not doing a very good job of it. And I don't want to get flamed in the comments. I love this movie. It's just from a purely filmmaking perspective. It's not exactly Citizen Kane. It's more like Denny's. Yeah, Denny's. Denny's sounds... It's not like it's not a fun time. It's an absolute blast. Art is energetic and fun, and he's hilarious, and he's very clearly gay. Remember, kids, the Bible says man shall not lay with another man, but they ain't saying nothing about car stuff. Beat you this time, big guy upstairs, fucking Tony Hawking on your shit. The one thing I can appreciate about Art is he's persistent. God closes his door, you grab a brick, you break that bitch's window. Fucking Brett Favre that shit into her second story. I'm sorry, I wrote the script at 2 a.m. I'm sorry, I apologize if I'm a little, it's a little more obnoxious than usual. But point is, clowns are hot. Terrifier is a very fun movie series for sickos that play Skylanders Swap Force like myself. And if you haven't seen them, I'll give you a little rundown. I've fully written the script for this video, so I know it's quite a long script, so it might not be a little rundown, and it might be more like Oppenheimer. The first movie, as I said, is not a very well-written or acted movie, but oh my god, this fucking nightmare clown demon is a sassy little bitch, and I love him. He steals the entire show. He's dancing around, he's making a joke of everything, he's just there to have a good time. He's having fun. He's making a little bit of the whole ordeal while absolutely defiling people. He crushes skulls and does things with corpses not seen in most movies. Because most directors would probably read the script for Terrifier and think, hey, why would you want anyone to do this to anyone ever? Like, who? What sick bastard wants any of this happening to anyone? Not Damien Leone. Not my boy Damien, pictured here as the son of Batman. Yeah, he's one of the Robins. A lot of people don't know that. Damien Leone has the balls to do what most directors would never even think of showing on a film. I mean, there's a point in the first movie where he legit pulls a blicky out of the aforementioned blicky bag, and it's really unnerving because this already sick fuck pulls out a gun, and as a viewer you're just like, oh my god, no, the knives and saws and shit are fine. They're fine. They're like household items. I mean, everyone has a blicky bag. Just me? It's just me. Okay, well, fuck you too then. And it's like, oh fuck, he has a gun now. If you don't think he's gonna use it, you got another fucking thing coming, because that Glock was loaded, cocked, and ready to fucking shoot. I was trying to think of a word to rhyme, but nothing rhymes with cocked. Everyone knows that. We all know that. You can dodge a knife, but you can't even begin to block a shot from the Glock. And the sick bastard just laughs after shooting a dude point blank in the fucking face. And I know I can't show any of this, because YouTube will get mad and delete all my Neopets that I worked my ass off to get. No, please YouTube, I have a Neopet family. I can't live without my fucking Jub. That's my son. I birthed him out of my vagina. I shouldn't have said that. I don't even have nothing like that going on down there. I'm talking way too much about my no square, but talking about fucking Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria, best known for his disdain for teenagers and the hit song "Take Me Out." Yes, that's its full name, no further question. What do you think this is? Algebra class? Do I look like I could solve for X? Spoiler alert, I can't. I know quantum physics, and that is it. I'm getting off topic. Terrifier, while not a necessarily good movie, some would say it's not even a movie, it's just a 90-minute snuff film, and they'd be right in that assumption, but it's still a very special to me for a couple of reasons, but the main reason is gore. Gore is, if the effects are done right, is always fucking amazing and brutal, and it makes you freaked out, because it's like, man, this could happen in real life. All of this shit, this could happen to me. That's not fun at all. It makes you all queasy and kind of giddy in a fucked up type of way, because we're all deranged psychopaths. I mean, come on, we're gamers. Gamers are freaky little fuckers. We've all played fucking ultra-violent video games like Bulletstorm and Manhunt and fucking Club Penguin. We don't know exactly what it's like, but we somewhat know what it feels like to be in a killer's shoes and just thinking, damn, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had a family, but on the other hand, have you met my good pal, the AK-47? You haven't? Okay, chill. Hear me out. Both your kneecaps gone. Just like Woods. The numbers, Mason. What do the numbers mean, Mason? Where's my son, Jub? Where my homie, Jub at? And we know that sometimes, only when it's not real, it can be fun to be a little sicko, but only if it's not real, because oh my god, who would ever do any of this in real life? Only one man alive could actually do the sick, depraved shit that is seen in the Terrifier movies, and that man's name is Ted Cruz. That's probably a joke I shouldn't make. So obviously sometimes it's fun to watch an insane, somewhat definitely immortal, psychopathic mute clown just obliterate people. The scene in the movie which the dumbass in the Terrifier shirt earlier stumbled through talking about, the scene that made people give a shit about this movie is legit an insanely graphic scene where he hangs a woman upside down by her ankles, fully nude, and in front of her best friend who's tied to a chair, and he pulls out a handsaw and he just fucking split that bitch in twain like his name is Robin Hood, and she's the second arrow. Shout out Robin Hood, he a real one. And it's intense to watch, and it's disgusting, and it's kind of it's kind of really funny to watch at the same time in a fucked up type of way. I'm sure that this video is for sure making me seem like a sociopath, and that's not gonna change, because I haven't even talked about the second movie yet, and that one's even fucking crazier. But anyway, that scene put art on the map. Not even just Art the clown, but like art as a concept. A lot of people didn't know that existed until this very moment. Fucking put it up in the Louvre next to the Mona Lisa and fucking Pac-Man World 2. Even if you're queasy and you don't like gore, I think you should still for sure give Terrifier a shot, because oh my god, what the fuck is this freaky little fuck doing? He's just fucking smearing his shit out on the wall and writing his name out and shit. Like this is a fucking Banksy, and it's just crazy to watch. And now it's time to talk about the big fucker. The reason I wanted to make this video in the first place. The fucking banana ass movie that doesn't ask, should I make this movie even more insane than the first? But the movie that asks, yeah, I'm gonna make it more insane. What the fuck are you gonna do about it, pussy? Nothing. You're gonna do nothing. You can't do shit. And if you think art isn't gonna break into your house, he's already here. He's already behind you. He's about to make the Postal dude from Postal 2 look like goddamn Mary Magdalene. If you haven't played Postal 2 and you don't get that reference, just imagine Gumball Watterson, but with an AK, and he's using cats as suppressors. He's not a cat. He's using cats as suppressors. And it's exactly as off-putting as it sounds. Terrifier 2 is not only much gorier than the first film, if you can believe it, but it's also much better of a movie. It has an actual plot. Director Damien Leone gave himself 3 months to write the script for it, unlike the first movie, which he wrote over the span of 1 month in a shed while juggling part-time jobs in order to pay for the effects. Don't look up the accuracy of that statement. It is true. It is 100% true. Don't question it. We don't like people questioning things around these parts, partner. But the film actually has pretty decently acted and portrayed characters that make the non-clown scenes fun and interesting, which the first movie was severely lacking in a lot, and I do mean a lot of ways. Seriously, if it wasn't for Art being a creative little fucking turning a dude's head into a jack-o'-lantern and all the crazy kills, this movie series would never have gotten off the ground. Along with it having a better script, better direction, better writing, it also had a way bigger budget. See, the first movie had a budget of $35,000, which if you've never made a movie, you probably wouldn't know that $35K in movie production terms means you can buy, let's see, a camera and maybe some costume designers. And that's pretty much about it. But the second movie had an Indiegogo page that asked for $50,000 from fans, so Damien Leone could make the movie that he wanted to do. And that motherfucker made 430% of its goal, making almost $250,000 for production, which means they could afford still very little, but they could afford costume designers, plural, as well as actual actors, and most importantly, more fucking crazy practical effects, and it shows. I think Terrifier 2 is a phenomenal movie, one of the best slashers in film history, but it is not without flaws. As well as being the writer, director, producer, and head of the special effects team, Damien Leone also was the film's editor. And it does show, because much like some of my own videos, it should have had unbiased eyes looking through it to help edit, because not all but a few scenes go on for just a little bit too long, just like 2 or 3 minutes too long for my liking. But I don't care. I still really love the movie. And on the budget note, thanks to everyone's favorite horror news website and blog, Bloody Disgusting, Terrifier 3 has a budget of $2 million. Yeah, million, with a B. Wait, no, that's not right. Fuck it, yeah, with a B. And I have never been more excited about a movie having as low a budget as $2 million. And yes, $2 million is still a very low budget. To put into perspective, the original Friday the 13th, which is known for having an infamously low budget, had a budget of $550,000, which in 1980s money, adjusted for inflation today, is just $100,000 more than the Terrifier 3 budget. So yeah, it's still a very low budget. But if they could do the sick shit that they did in Terrifier 2 for just $250,000, imagine what Damien Leone could do in Terrifier 3 for the $2 million budget that he has. Daddy Leone is cooking up something special for us Discord kittens, or actually I think Terrifier fans are definitely more like 4chan users than anything else. Point being, Terrifier 3 is gonna be crazy, and I'm so excited to see it. They've been doing early screenings, and people have been walking out within minutes so they could throw up and get their money back, and I am so excited to sit in that theater and probably laugh while the scenes that people walked out during are happening. And I'm even more excited about Terrifier 2 right now in this obnoxious video. So without further ado, let's get into this fucking Ed Gein wet dream of a fucking movie. What makes it special to me and my other sadists? For starters, it's not just Art doing the killing. Well, okay, it kind of is, but it's also not. More on that later. Point is, he has a little sidekick of his own this time. She's a little clown girl who likes to shit blood on laundromat floors. I mean, can you say endearing or what? Which you should be, because this will be on the exam later, and that is worth half your grade, you asshole. Terrifier 2 also adds to Art by giving him a little backstory, as well as lore. And who doesn't love a little clown lore? I mean, there's a reason the Joker is my favorite comic book villain. I like clowns. Sue me, I like clowns. Not that one. But not only does it give us lore, it gives us more screen time with everyone's favorite clown demon. With this movie being a whopping 2 hours and 18 minutes. For comparison, the first one was only an hour and a half. So obviously that's a lot more clown action, so sign me up! Terrifier 2 is about this girl who's super into Halloween. She makes a costume that was based on a character that her dad made for her when she was a children, and also gave her this big-ass sword before he died? I don't remember. I think they explained that he died. I don't actually remember. A lot of the movie, they're just like vaguely talking about him, being like, oh yeah, your dad was a sick man. He's gone now. But like, I don't think you truly know that he's like for sure dead until like way later in the film. He matters to the plot, but also kind of not really. It's kind of weird. Like he has a journal, and they talk about him and his journal. The journal is a big part of the movie, but he himself does not matter. It's weird. Not the point I'm trying to make. She makes this badass Valkyrie costume because it's the character her dad made for her, and she's really cool and has little to no backstory because fuck it. But we're told she's important. Anyway, she also has a little brother that is not unlike Jeffrey Dahmer. He's got these big ass glasses, and he wants to dress up as Art the Clown for Halloween. And it's like, dude, he is a real killer in your world. Who the hell would want to dress up as Art the Clown? He's a little weirdo. He goes to school, and him and his friends are, well, mostly his friends, are playing with a dead possum that has like maggots crawling out of it and shit. And they bring over this girl, and they tell her there's a cat giving birth behind the dumpster. And then they show her the possum, and they open his stomach with a big stick with fucking maggots in there, and it's honestly kind of gross for even me to watch, because I can watch people get maimed all day long, but you hurt a fucking animal, and I will never forgive you. Animals are beautiful creatures. That's disgusting, and you should be ashamed of yourself. But people suck. You can kill people all you want. I don't give a shit. It's in movie. But yeah, they just fucking traumatize this poor girl, but Art makes up for it, because a little bit later, the little brother who actually was the only one in that scenario that was like, hey, let's maybe fucking not do this to this poor girl. What the hell is wrong with you guys? He's walking through the hallways of his school, and he just runs into Art and the little clown girl, and they're just having a family bonding experience, you know, eating their food. Their food is the possum, and they're just chomping on them, and they're just eating the possum's innards, which is kind of also very awful to watch. And then they just fucking yeet the thing at him like it's a fucking frisbee, and he gets in trouble with the school because they think he's the one who dragged this poor animal in and like played with its organs and splattered blood everywhere. So naturally he gets grounded from going to the Halloween party later in the movie, and so he cannot dress up as Art because fucking duh. I mean, obviously, we all know he's not the one that did it, but like, if you didn't know the clown squad over here were running amok, would you honestly look at this kid with his big ass glasses and trust him? Fucking no, you can't trust a guy with glasses, let alone big ones. I know I have big glasses. I know it was hypocritical of me to say that. Fuck you. And this is where the movie starts to pop off, because this is when Art starts to get the majority of the screen time. It's very much like Nightmare on Elm Street, where the first one is like Freddy Krueger, or in this case Art, is a very intimidating guy. They don't give him a whole lot of screen time because they want him to feel menacing. Whereas Terrifier 2 is much more like Nightmare on Elm Street 3, where it's like, hey, fuck all those teenagers. Freddy Krueger's the main guy now. He's the main character. He's fucking welcome to prime time, bitch. Sure, there's a cast of characters that are like important and you're supposed to root for them, but this is the fucking Art show all the way to the max, bitch. He is the star of the show, and this isn't gonna be super in-depth like my Warriors vid where I talk about every single story beat, because I want you, the viewer, to watch the Terrifier movies and form your own opinions on it. So I'm just picking and choosing random shit to talk about, so I'm gonna skip ahead to a bit later to that night, where the main character that isn't a fucking clown, her name's Sienna, by the way. It doesn't matter, don't care, didn't ask. So basically, she's having a dream, and this is the best scene in the movie, because she gets transported to this place called the Clown Cafe, and goddamn, this scene is just fucking peak. It's just like this parody of those old children's shows that you used to watch, where you look at it as an adult and you're like, damn, this is the most obvious set I've ever seen in my life. And it's a bunch of people singing a song, which is very, very catchy, and they introduce Art to her, and then people just fucking start dying in fucked up ways. Cause Art shows up and he pulls a fucking Tommy gun out of the blicky bag. Yeah, the blicky bag's back in this movie. You thought the blicky bag could go away, the blicky bag is forever. And he just goes to town just shooting the shit out of the patrons of the Clown Cafe. Before picking up a flamethrower, and he lights the bitch who's singing the song on fire, and as the music slowly starts to fade out because the bitch is dead, you kind of just see how truly awful and depraved Art is and turns out it's a lot less fun without the music, because you're like, oh, that's just a bunch of dead people. Which side note, I'm gonna play a little bit of the song for you, because it has been stuck in my head for weeks. Obviously, I can't show the murder and shit, because this video will get age restricted, but you need to hear this song, because it will get stuck in your head. I rewatched this movie a few weeks ago. Ever since, I've been singing, "Food's a little funny at the Clown Cafe." It gets stuck in your head like fucking Stepsis in the washing machine. Anyway, she wakes up to her costume fully on fire. It burned up, and so obviously, because of this, she had to go to a Halloween store the very next day to get replacement wings, because you can't have a Valkyrie costume without the wings. This is where Art just has the absolute time of his fucking life. The whole time Sienna is in the costume store, Art is creeping up behind her and being a little weirdo and doing all this shit, like staring at her like he's a middle schooler who doesn't understand social cues, looking at his crush. When she's going to pay, she realizes she left her bag downstairs, and Art brings her purse, because he's a gentleman. And as she's paying, the whole time Art is behind her just making a bit, like he's trying on stupid glasses, like sunflower glasses previously seen in this video, and these hand sunglasses, and those joke eyeball glasses that are like it's two eyeballs on springs and they just go banga dunga dunga. This scene was directly inspired by one of my favorite movies of all time, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And he's just really doing his best to make her uncomfortable, and he's really just doing his best to try to make her uncomfortable, and he does, and it's honestly kind of hilarious. And then bitch finds a clown horn, and he just creeps up on her like a fucking Scooby-Doo villain. and it shouldn't be as funny as it is, but it really is, because Art's just having the absolute time of his life. Then he obviously murders the store clerk and decapitates him, so the next time a customer tries to come in, he poses with the head so it looks like he's just a Halloween decoration, which is funny as a viewer to picture, because it's like, how long did Art stand there with that head just waiting for someone to possibly come in? Because the head's not like dripping blood anymore, like it's kind of dry, so like he was waiting there for a while. And that's commitment to the bit, and that is something that I can absolutely 100% respect. It's one thing I appreciate about Art is that he's not afraid to dedicate time out of his busy schedule for the possibility of a punchline. Once again, I'm going to skip ahead a little, because while I do think that this movie is genuinely good and has a good plot and story or whatever, but that's not what I'm trying to do here. If you want to know the plot of these movies, go watch the movies yourselves. Or at the very least, watch the kill counts that Dead Meat did, because shout out Dead Meat, big fan of these videos. Go check them out. I'm just here to talk about this sicko depraved shit that Art does. It's not the best paced movies, so I don't exactly remember the events that happened in the order that they happened. But I want to talk about the scene. You know how in the first movie, the scene that put the movie on the map was when he split that bitch twain, Robin Arrow? Well, this movie outdoes it, like, horde. Because Art breaks into this girl's house, and he just goes to town. He slits her eye open, he scalps her, slices and stabs her back, rips the entire skin off her back, then removes her arms by cutting them, both hot dog and hamburger style, and throws her on the floor and leaves her for dead. And I know what you might be thinking, that's not as bad as the first movie, but wait, there's more! Because shortly after Art leaves the room, he comes back with bleach and salt, so he pours bleach all over this poor girl's wounds and then rubs salt in it. I can't even show any of this in this video because YouTube wouldn't even age restrict me. They'd show up to my house and shoot me in the head. And then he rips her face off, and then the movie cuts to a little bit later where Art is just playing with her now somehow even more mutilated body, which she's still alive, by the way. She shouldn't be alive, but she is. And as Allie's mom comes home, she finds that there was a break-in, so she goes to check in on Allie, and so she opens the door and sees Art just mutilating this girl, and then Allie just looks up and just her last word is "Mom," which, I mean, yeah, fair enough at that point, you know. It's finally time for Sienna to get ready for the party in the costume that this whole movie has been building to this whole time. I give it a 7 out of 10 IGN, which, side note, for whatever reason, IGN blocked me on Instagram, which is the best thing they've done since giving Agatha All Along an 8 out of 10, while giving The Penguin, which is a much better show, a 5 out of 10. Sienna's brother has one last talk with his mom about Art the Clown before she rips up his dad's journal and berates him, causing him to call her a bitch, before running away and finding Art's little clown demon sidekick in a van. And then the mom, or Barbara if you're nasty, goes into the garage so she can go out and find her son, who just ran away, only to find her car covered in shaving cream and smashed pumpkins with bitch written on the windshield. So Babs over here obviously blames her son for the way her car looks and calls Sienna at the party to tell her about it, only to realize her daughter is drunk and also high because her friend wanted to be nice and take the edge off for her, so she slipped her Molly. Which, by the way, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're planning to give your friend Molly, fucking tell them first. It's the common courtesy to tell them, because what the fuck is wrong with you? You're drugging someone if you don't tell them. You are drugging a person. Anyway, they finish the call so Barbara can clean up the mess, and she quickly finds out that it was actually the man himself, Art the Clown, who destroyed her car. When she wipes off the driver's side window, and again, Art pulls out the blicky, this time in the shape of a sawed-off shotgun, and blows her fucking head off. Sienna gets scared because the clown girl shows up at the party and just, like, kind of teleports to her. So her friend and her boyfriend decide to take her home early, because that's the least that they could fucking do. This is where Sienna's brother comes home and finds, this is where Sienna's brother comes home to tell his mom about the clown girl he just saw, because that was some freaky shit. And he finds her corpse at the dinner table with her head reattached to her body after being blown off moments ago. And he finds out that he has a new mom in the form of Art the Clown, who feeds his mom's corpse with mashed potatoes, and it's really gross and hard to watch. And Art chases Jonathan. His name is Jonathan, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that before. Anyway, he chases Jonathan throughout the house and finally catches up to him, knocks him out with delicious, delicious drugs so he can kidnap him. So Sienna gets a call from Jonathan, who's actually not Jonathan and is in fact the clown girl, doing a spot-on impression, telling Sienna that he's at the old amusement park. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the climax of this almost 2.5-hour movie. They pull up to the amusement park, and Sienna goes in to look for her brother alone, and leaves her friend and her friend's boyfriend in the car, and the boyfriend has to pee, so he gets out, and then Art gives him a little circumcision, but takes just a little too much off the top, which just goes to show Art isn't just looking to inflict pain on women alone. He's looking to inflict pain on anyone who is in his path, and I find that really respectable. So he hits the boyfriend. I genuinely don't know the name of the boyfriend. I don't care, didn't ask. And he hits him with the old dick twist. Grab his dick and twist it! Twist his dick! Before he plays with his newfound friend by rubbing it on the car window to scare his girlfriend. Again, don't know her name, doesn't matter. So she gets out of the car and runs to safety by running into the abandoned amusement park to find Sienna, who she in fact does not find, but instead finds a highly decorated bathroom where Art the Clown finds her and then throws acid at her face, and with a super big ass stick breaks her arm, her and sternum and kneecap, and and to make sure she's dead, he eats her fucking beating heart. And finally, Sienna and Art have a face-off. And for the next 20 minutes, Sienna and Art have a game of cat and mouse where they both get some good shots in, and Art throws her into a water tank in the basement of the amusement park, where she drowns before her brother wakes up to Art just gnawing on his ankles, just going to town on him. Should have phrased that different. And her brother screams for Sienna, which awakens the family dagger, which is magic for some reason. It also awakes Sienna, who somehow gets undrowned because again the dagger's magic for some fucking reason. And finally Sienna sneaks up on Art and puts an end to him once and for all by decapitating him. And the clown girl comes by just to grab Art's head and leave. And Sienna and Jonathan get the hell out of there happily ever after. But wait! There's more! During a mid-credit scene, we're taken to a mental hospital with the receptionist, professional wrestler Chris Jericho, where we're met with Vicky Hayes. She's one of the characters from the first movie who Art unceremoniously ate the face of, and she's bleeding from her hoo-ha, as one does, and writing bad words on the wall, as well as Vicky plus Art on the wall before giving birth to Art's head, and then in as the nurse checks in on her, Art's decapitated head looks up at her and starts laughing, and that's it. That's the movie. So yeah, it's a lot to unpack, but I really enjoy these movies, and I think the point that I'm trying to make in this obnoxiously long video is that not every movie has to be a well thought out Scorsese joint, and not every movie needs to have a several $100 million budget. If a director knows what he can do with the budget he's given and knows what he wants to do, and he has a clear idea of where to use his budget, i.e. gore, it can still be an amazing experience full of fun and good storytelling. All of this godforsaken year that, thank God, we're finally at the fun part of the year that has my three favorite holidays, obviously being Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, because Jesus, this year has taken a toll on me. I started my 20s off with a bang, and that bang was from a loaded Glock aimed at both of my kneecaps. The numbers, Mason. What do the numbers mean, Mason? Reznov doesn't exist, Mason. Gaslight, gaslight, gaslight. But all year I've been looking forward to Terrifier 3, which I'm going to see opening night this Friday. And I've never been more excited about something. Movies are a way to escape. And it goes to show that with the right director, anything is possible. If you haven't seen the movies, I recommend to go watch them. 'Cause, yeah, they're depraved and disgusting, but they're also incredibly beautiful and well done. I hope you enjoyed me talking for this unreasonable amount of time. But this video might not be quite over yet, because Goomty might have just a little bit more to say. And if he doesn't, then this part of the video did not happen, and you didn't see this. So without further ado, thank you for watching my part in this video. If you liked it and made it to the end, consider dropping a like, comment down below, subscribe, hit that bell, and then all so you can get notified anytime we upload. Join me next week where I'll be talking about the original Resident Evil game and how we maybe shouldn't look back on games with rose-tinted glasses, because maybe that's not the best thing to do at all times, because it's a little unfair to the game itself, and should still be a little more critical even if it's a game that you absolutely love. Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Take it away, Gooms.
Alright, how long have I been recording this? This is an hour, Jesus.
Why are you back? I thought I would. Okay. It's been your boy, Big Mac, and I'll see you in the next one.
What am I doing here? Who the hell let you in? You in here?